New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Nick of Time Show here, giving you that Knicks talk just in Nick of Time. And it's time to talk about the Knicks smacking against the 76ers because the Knicks, guess what, guys? They played some defense and held the 76ers under 100 points. That's right. They beat them 111-99. Josh Hart had a great day, not a good day, and had a triple-double with 14 points, 10 assists, and 12 rebounds. OG Anunoby gives you 24 points, six rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block. McCall gives you 21. Brunson, he only gives you 5 of 15 and 6 turnovers, but he still manages to turn it on in the fourth. Simmons played defense. Miles McBride stepped in at the right time, and the Knicks took the win, and we're going to talk about it all right? The good, and the good. Not that much bad. Although Brunson did have a peculiar game, this is one of those games where he didn't shoot well, but he played well. So let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. I want to start off by saying, isn't it nice to watch a Knicks game and not have to witness a fourth quarter collapse? The Knicks defense have been bad recently in the fourth quarter, and today we actually played well. Karl-Anthony Towns held his own for the most part against Joel Embiid. The Knicks did a good job of helping Karl-Anthony Towns defensively, kind of helping and hedging, and the Knicks didn't have a fourth quarter collapse. They actually outscored the 76ers by a lot in the fourth quarter. The 76ers, they scored 24 points in the fourth quarter, which is pretty much what they was doing the entire game, averaging about 24 points per quarter, pretty much the entire way. And then when you looked at the Knicks in the fourth quarter, they actually turned it up. The Knicks scored, let's see, Knicks gave you 33 points in the fourth quarter. So it was really glad to see that there was no fourth quarter collapse, and they actually played well for the fourth quarter. And funny enough, like, we've had problems with the process. We had problems with the offense. The Knicks have had the number 2 offense so far this season. Jaylen Brunson, he only took 15 shots. That's noticeable. He had 5 assists, but I feel like he had a lot of hockey assists. When it comes to the assists, we saw a lot of passing and a lot of dimes coming from 2 men specifically, Josh Hart and Karl-Anthony Towns. And this seems like this is going to be the recipe for success for a lot of these guys. Ball movement, moving without the ball, hitting these open threes when we have the opportunity to make them, and just pushing the ball. It's a sight to behold, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing from these New York Knicks, and I want to get specific about a couple of them. But it's just nice to see the Knicks come together and actually play defense. It's kind of been spotty so far this season. With everything that's been happening with the Knicks, we still kind of have to realize it's still a little bit early. And we have won, 5-5 right now? We're a 500 team, which isn't bad, considering we have a soft part of the schedule coming up. So this win kind of sets us up for the next few wins against a couple of bottom feeders. Because we had the Bulls coming up. We have the Nets coming up twice back-to-back, and the Wizards into Phoenix. So for all intents and purposes, we should have a nice little 5-game winning streak and ride some momentum after a rough start, and use these games to kind of tighten up some screws, because we also have to realize that we have some brand new players back. We got Campaign back today, and we have Matt Ryan, who didn't play well today that we have to implement into these systems. So I'm looking forward to it. But I want to start off by giving some props. And I have to start off by giving props to OG Anunoby. A lot of people thought he was a guy who was only going to give us 15 points a night. A spot up 3-point shooting type of guy who can play defense. But slowly but surely, he's been turning it up. He's been looking legit. I called him baby Kawhi Leonard last season because of his propensity from the mid-range, but he's been dunking on dudes. The Knicks have done a really good job of finding him on mismatches, and he's done a really good job of just running off misses, finding the smallest player and posting him up and scoring easy twos that way. He's also done a really good job of working off of his 3-point shot and getting to the hole and getting a lot of easy dunks at the basket. He's just been filling it up mid-range, going to the lane. Defensively, he's been good, even though he's got cooked by Paul George a little bit. Paul George had a good game. But all in all, Anunoby was a plus 18 on the night, highest plus minus. And when you're talking about consistency, who's probably the most consistent Knick on both ends of the floor, I think you would have to point to OG Anunoby as probably the most consistent Knick on both ends of the floor since the beginning of the season. And he's been our most valuable and versatile wing so far. And do we win this game without OG Anunoby? I don't know. So kudos to OG Anunoby. Big win. Love what I see. I love the contributions from OG Anunoby. I hated to lose Emmanuel quickly. We traded RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly for him last season, and it's still paying off dividends for us right now, man. He's going to be one of those guys. He's definitely a championship piece, worth every penny, worth all the money that we pay for him, for sure, without a doubt. Salute to the chat. Shout out to Coach Sire. Shout out to Picks for Timmy. Shout out to John Mark in the chat who's rocking with the KOT show and enjoying this win with the Knicks versus the 76ers tonight. All right. Doing this post game from my mom's, my sister's crib while I'm doing all my family duty this week. I will be back in my regular place next week to talk about Knicks basketball. So definitely stay tuned for that. Another wing I want to talk about is Mikal Bridges. All right. And I definitely want to get to Cat soon and Brunson. But I also want to get to Mikal Bridges because Mikal Bridges, as you guys know, has been struggling. And I still feel like, although offensively, we are technically the number 2 offensive team in the league, there is still some ways to grow. And the 2 ways I can see us growing is, one, when Jaylen Brunson actually starts to make his shots that he usually makes. And 2, when we actually utilize Mikal Bridges even more. There was a point of the game in the third quarter where Jaylen sprained his ankle. And it's pretty much as soon as the third quarter started. Deuce McBride comes in. He settles the ship. Shout out to Deuce McBride for doing a phenomenal job. But also, we had a go-to player. This is when Mikal Bridges starts to go off. He starts to get into the post. He starts to get into that mid-range game, and we utilized it. There was part of the game where Jaylen was at the checkout table, and we were moving. We had our largest lead of the game at the time with Deuce McBride at the point guard spot, and Mikal Bridges being the focal point of the offense, along with Karl Anthony Towns, who was just attracting a lot of attention and dominating the ball. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Brunson can sit a little bit. We cooking right now. We don't have to rush to bring him back in. And it kind of got me thinking, like, we have so many different offensive weapons. Like, I really think we should to look to utilize Mikal with the second unit a little bit more. Like right now, Tibbs, he either has Karl-Anthony Townsend or Jaylen Brunson in, either or. But I think getting McCall into rhythm moving forward might need to be a priority because he's still kind of in a slump from three, but that mid-range game has been ridiculously automatic. So I'm starting to feel like we should try to just use that to get him into rhythm, so maybe he can start to get his 3-point shot back and not just have to rely on that. Because as soon as Brunson went out, as soon as he went out, McCall just starts to go off. He starts to go off. He starts doing his little head bob thing, and I'm like, man, this is the McCall I know. This is the McCall that we traded picks for. We need this guy. We need this version of McCall. Because as good as we played today, like I still feel like we have a long ways to go. Even though we're number 2 offensively, we have a ways to go there too. So, shout out to Mikal Bridges who made it easy for us to not panic when Jaylen Brunson went to the locker room to check on his ankle. So as much as the chemistry is still a work in progress with this team, short term, long term, just the fact that we can actually sit Brunson some games and have McCall and OG and Cat just take over the offensive scoring load is going to pay huge dividends for us in the future. Which kind of brings me to Karl-Anthony Towns. You know what I mean? Karl-Anthony Towns passing has been so good. I'm not even gonna hold you. The behind the head pass, it reminded me of Joker a little bit. I'm not gonna hold you. The pass when Mikal Bridges came from the corner and cut and Karl-Anthony Towns kind of passed it behind his head, that was crazy. And he's been doing that routinely. And it's been working for him. And Tibbs is kind of using him like he did a la Joakim Noah as a guy who's going to pass from the top of the key, and it's been working. We've been getting some buckets from backdoor cuts for Brunson and McCall just from that action alone. When he came to the Knicks, a lot was made out of his turnovers because he can't really pass. He has trouble passing off the dribble. But the Knicks don't use him as a passer off the dribble. It's like when he's dribbling now, it's very decisive. He's either going to the hole, he's just pretty much going to the hole when he dribbles. So he's pretty much eliminated his worst pass. When he goes to the hole, he's going to the hole. Straight up, that's it. When he's passing from the top of the key, he's passing from the top of the key, and he's hitting cutters in stride. That's it. So I've been very, very pleased with the process, with the processing speed of Karl-Anthony Towns, and how fast he passed the ball, and how accurately he passes the ball, and how he hits cutters as soon as they go. So, huge game by Karl-Anthony Towns. Love what he did today. Even though he didn't shoot well, he was just aggressive, getting to the basket, keeping Joel Embiid out the paint, to allow our other guys to get to the hole, allow OG and Anunoby to get easy dunks, allow Mikal Bridges to get by the basket. He's just been a godsend for us on offense. And today, Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I didn't touch anything. it just glitched. What's the last thing y'all heard me say? Yo, first, what's the last thing you heard me say? You know? Okay, well, you know what? I'll just go from the super chat. So Corey Lee sends a $20 super chat. Shout out to Corey Lee, who says the problem with this team is the captain because he hasn't bought in. He feels like he needs to get over his teammates, lead from the front, not the rear. He needs to make these other players feel like we need him, though. I'm just saying. Thank you, Corley, for $20 super chat. I don't have the guns. I don't have the gunshots with me today, but I appreciate that the super chat. And I gotta say, I disagree with you. I feel like Jaylen Brunson has gotten a lot of heat. I know he's had some games where he hasn't passed the ball a lot, but I feel like more often than not, he has games where he's moved the ball. Certainly there's been some frustrating games, but today has definitely not been one of them. He's only taken actually 15 shots this game. And if you look at his assist numbers, you say, oh, this man only had 5 assists. But I think he got a lot of hockey assists. I think he now the thing with Jaylen Brunson today, though, he had a lot of turnovers. He had a lot of turnovers. He had 6 turnovers today, which he has to cut down. He's had a lot of turnovers in general, and I think that's just a product of getting used to passing the ball more, because I feel like he's actually been passing the ball more, so you're gonna have more turnovers. But 2, just figuring out where everybody is on the floor is gonna take some time for him. Like there was one play where Joel Embiid got switched to him, and the secondary defender was kind of shadowing him, and he got a turnover trying to pass to Towns. Once he figures out that spacing and where people are on the floor, that turnover won't happen again. So I think it's just going to take some time. I think it's definitely going to take some time. And I feel like he's been getting a lot of heat on Twitter. And some of that is unnecessary. Some of that is necessary, but some of that is necessary. And I think when it comes to Jaylen Brunson, we just got to give him time, man. Like the dude came over to the Knicks, became the man. He's been underpaid. He took a pay cut. He still could have. He should be getting paid way more than he is, and he took a pay cut to help build out this team. So for people to be kind of turning on him the way they are, I think they just should shut the hell up. Honestly, they should. I really do, and just allow this man the ability to kind of get better and grow with the team. Like he's earned that. The way he's carried us last season, the way he's been the number 4 scorer in the league last season, and the way he's led by example and taking pay cut to grow out this team. There's not a lot of players who are going to be top 10 scorers who's going to do that. So I feel like a lot of people just should just chill a little and let this man grow. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the super chat, though. And the support from you, Corey Lee. Also, Corey sends you $2. Says, mind you, I'm grateful for the victory. I appreciate that, Corey Lee. Appreciate that. All right. Yo, what's good, Phil Porto? Shout out to you, man. Thank you for watching, man. Thank you for thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for the support. All right. Phil says, as bad as the first half was, after that potential injury, a player not bought in wouldn't come back. He did. That's true. That is definitely true. Jaylen Brunson came back even though he didn't have to. Shoot, if I was a coach, I probably would have arrested him personally, but we know Tisby Tib, and he ain't gonna arrest everybody. We were up. We was functioning with Deuce McBride and Bridges having the helm. I wouldn't even brought him back, but Jaylen Brunson is Jaylen Brunson, and obviously he was healthy because the way he was moving, he actually started to put together some buckets in that third, fourth quarter. We actually started to not turn over the ball. We didn't even turn over the ball in the fourth quarter at all, and we were able to put away this game. It's funny because This game was pretty close for most of the game, and I think a lot of it had to do with we weren't getting to the line. Granted, I kind of feel like JB gets mugged a lot, and so does Cat. I kind of feel like the NBA is doing that thing again where they're going off the Jaylen Brunson reputation of drawing a lot of fouls. And because they're going off that reputation, he's not able to get to the foul line as much a lot. And that happened last season at the end of the season where he wasn't getting a lot of foul calls. I think they have to like readjust that because he's getting mugged a lot. And he started getting calls later on. He finished the game with 8 free throws, which I feel like might be the most free throws he's taken since the season started. But I digress. We needed more free throws, and I feel like that first half they had the free throw edge, and that's a lot of reason why they were even sticking around. Also, I feel like the turnovers was getting to us, man. The turnovers were bad, and Jaylen Brunson had 6 of those himself, and he needs to cut that down. And I think he has in the fourth quarter, and I think that's a big reason why we won this game in the first place. All right. So to Corey says another $5 super chat. He says, "Bro, he almost shot us out the game in the first quarter. If this was Randall, we would have put him on the cross." Yeah, you know what, Corey? This is the thing. There is a difference between shooting. There's a difference between shooting too much and taking bad shots. You know what I'm saying? There's other games where you can say, you know what, Brunson didn't play well because he was taking bad shots and he wasn't getting his teammates the ball. You know what I mean? I don't think this is one of those games. I don't think this is one of those games, which is why even though he was missing shots, he's still moving the ball. He wasn't getting assists, but he was getting the hockey assists. So I don't really. As soon as he started making shots, that's when we started to get the lead back. We started to put the game away, which is why I don't look at this game in the first half like a bad game, like some other games, like I would say maybe like the Hawks. You know what I mean? Well, I appreciate the super chat, man, for sure. Picks for Timmy says 100% right about the Randall crucifix. Well, everybody crucified Randall. I didn't, right? And for me, if you follow this channel, for me, it's always for me. I criticize a few things. I would criticize if you're the right shots. Are you taking the right shots, and are you moving defensively? If you feel like I'll kill you more for no defensive effort more than anything else. And that's what I killed Randall for the most part. That's just me, though. Fritz says Cam Payne had a roller coaster 9 minutes. He took some questionable shots. Yo, I feel like Cam was like, I'm back. Revenge game. 76ers didn't want me. I'm going to show them now. And I'm just glad that Tibbs got to a 9-man rotation because both Cam and Matt Ryan both struggled. They both didn't make shots. Matt Ryan and Brunson were on a different pace altogether. Brunson straight up tried to pass on the ball, and the ball just sailed straight up out of bounds. So they still getting their chemistry together. But yeah, I agree with you. Cam Payne was a little bit wild today, but he made a 3 when we needed it at some point. So I'll take it. I'll take that to the bank. All right. Can I also give a shout out? Can I big up Miles McBride for a second too? I just need to big up Miles McBride for a second. Miles McBride, you know what's crazy about the Miles McBride game today? Miles McBride is the guy who's going to give you the defense, which he absolutely did. He's going to give you some threes. which he did as well. I don't think he shot necessarily well from three today, but he gave you some threes. But the thing that impressed me about Miles McBride today is he's a guy who's not supposed to be scoring in the paint on you. I'm not. I need to rewatch this, but I could have sworn I seen a Miles McBride drop step today in the paint. Like, if Miles McBride is giving you drop steps and turning over the shoulder and scoring on you like he's a big man, you're gonna have a long night. You're gonna have a long night when Miles McBride is playing like a power forward. That was crazy. So I just need to. I'm gonna give my 2 cents for Miles McBride, who helped steady the ship in the third quarter when Brunson went down. Hit some key shots, hit an open shot in the three to help push the lead. Was really good in the first half, just getting to the paint and scoring on these guys. And power forward Miles McBride was in effect today, scoring in the paint. I loved it. I appreciate, man. I appreciate that. Corey Lee says, Jay Ellis, I'm a great supporter of you because you keep it funky. Now, you're absolutely right, Corey. You already know. Popular or unpopular, I'm going to speak my piece. I'm going to give you my opinion. Hell, man. I'm the same dude who said draft. I'm the same dude who didn't want to draft RJ Barrett when everybody else was saying draft RJ Barrett. And I was getting crucified for it. So you already know I'm going to speak my mind. You already know this. I was like, we should draft Darius Garland over to RJ Barrett. And everybody's called me crazy. But, I don't care about popular opinions. I just give my opinion. Appreciate you, man. Stanley Novak says Cat outplayed Embiid. Yes. Cat did outplay Embiid for sure. I would not look that much into it, though, because we all know this was Joel Embiid's first game back as a 76er. It's going to take time for him to kind of get implemented. Also, Tyrese Maxey wasn't here. So it was a great win for the Knicks. We played well on both ends of the floor for the most part. Even though we missed some shots, I feel like the process was still there. But at the end of the day, they did not have their big three in Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid. So I totally expected to win this game for sure. For sure. And I expected Cat to outplay Embiid because Embiid doesn't have lungs yet, man. He plays like he has asthma. He's on one knee. It's his first game back. Cat should have outplayed him, and he did. Now, when the season goes on and their team has its full strength, we'll be able to really narrow in on where these two teams matches up. Because at the end of the day, our biggest weakness is still pick and roll defense. And without Maxey leading the charge, they took away their biggest weapon. That pick and roll 2-man game between Maxey and Embiid wasn't there. So we still have to wait to judge how this team looks against that team full speed. But at the same time, I still love the way Cat looked offensively. Like, I love the way he looked. I love the way he passed the ball. I love the behind the ear pass to Mikal Bridges. I love the threes. I love the aggressiveness, the rebounding. Cat has gone back to Timberwolves style rebounding when he played the center. Tibbs just brings that out of him. He just does. I feel like he was trying to be active defensively, although I held my breath whenever he got a little bit too handsy with Embiid, because you already know Embiid is a free throw monger. All right, he's a free throw monger. And I thank God that the Knicks challenged the offensive foul that could have gotten Cat 4 fouls when we were up 5 in the third quarter. We needed that call. We needed that call overturned. But Cat did a really good job. Didn't shoot well per se. I think he shot 43% from 3. 43% from the field, 2 or 6 from 3. But his imprint on the game was felt because he was just aggressive and he was diming people up. And just the spacing he provides to bring Joel Embiid at the paint just made things easier for everybody else. So just him being on the floor helped us. So I like the way Cat played today. All right. And I think last but not least, I just need to talk about Josh Hart. Josh Hart, man. Another triple-double. Started off the season talking about he was lost when he started in preseason. I think he was trolling because Josh Hart just trolls. Josh Hart was everywhere today, man. He played defense. He's a one-man fast break. Once he got into the paint, especially with Joel Embiid not lurking, he was able to finish every single shot at the rim, shooting 75% from twos this season, Josh Hart. Constant ball of energy. You already know when Josh Hart starts going downhill, that's when he's at his best. I think he still has a little bit of a chip on the shoulder from playing the 76ers last season, and he brought that today. Triple-double from Josh Hart is phenomenal, man. Josh Hart's go-ahead passes when he starts fast breaks are great. The passes he makes when he touches the paint are great. Josh Hart just been awesome for us today. And he's back to his rebounding too. And I mentioned this before. When Josh Hart is playing these oversized power forwards, that's when he saw the rebounding start to go dip down. But now he's playing normal size humans again. He's able to get these rebounds now. And a triple-double Josh Hart is what we need. I still feel like this season he's going to average his most rebounds per game for his career, for sure. So keep an eye out for that. And keep an eye out for a triple-double watch as well. I think he might get like 5 triple-doubles this season. He's flirted with a couple of triple-doubles already the last few games. So I expect him to finish out the season with at least 3 more triple-doubles, man. I'm telling you. Right. And a good shout out to Picks for Timmy. Had a good point. 30 assists per game is turning into a huge game marker for us. The Knicks historically under Tibbs has not been a huge assist game. Although Cat defensively has kind of hindered us in certain points. I think the addition of Cat and the addition of Mikal Bridges is really going to put our assist per game up. So even though we're towards the bottom of the league right now at this point, I think that's going to change the more games we play, the more teams we play. The only time that we've really been stagnant with the assists is when we're playing these switching defenses that kind of forces ISO ball. But teams like this who don't have the personnel to switch, we feast. We feast when teams don't switch and they don't have the personnel and the long wings to switch. We start to get 30 assists a game or close to it. So a nice passing game for these Knicks again. Once again, our offensive process has been awesome. Shots hit or not, it just has been. All right. Gregory Lee says with Tibbs, we've been on average 19 assists, 21 or most. Yeah, we have been. And I feel like part of that has been the process of just learning new teammates, Brunson getting out of his own way, passing the ball, and playing some interesting defenses to start. Like we played some tough defensive teams to start this game too. Like start the season, we played the Cavs. We played the Cavs. We played the Hawks, who are actually better defensively than they were last season, and the Boston Celtics. These next few games coming up, those assists should start to mount for sure. All right. All right, cool. Like I feel like the only other play I really want to mention is my honorable mention guy is Sims. Sims played another 10 minutes a game today. Only had 3 rebounds, but I know Sims gets a lot of hate. But defensively, he's been good, man. Defensively, he's been pretty good. I don't know if you guys have been taking notice, but he's getting more comfortable defending around the rim. He actually had a really good block, saved the bucket for us today. He's done a good job of defending guys at the rim without fouling. Lee shared some stats with us on Twitter the other day where he gave us the top 10 rim protecting bigs in the NBA so far. And Sims was on that list at number 7. So, like, I know sometimes you go on Knicks Twitter and you hear these conversations and takes just get popular. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I like Ariel Kaporti too. And I actually feel like Ariel Kaporti can still has a nice feel for the game as early. But we have to we can acknowledge that Ariel Kaporti has a nice feel for the game and does his thing. And also acknowledge that, you know what, Sims has been well. Sims has been playing well defensively. It doesn't always have to be trash this guy to praise this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like Sims has been playing well defensively, point blank period. So really happy with Sims today, defensively, and he's been on an incline as far as his defensive impact. All right, he's still a versatile big who can play the perimeter and guard the rim, and his speed is going to be important for us, and his size as well is going to help us. That the one thing that Sims has over Ariel is his size and ability to kind of guard bigger guys. So yeah, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for Sims and his impact, man. This if he keeps playing like this, he can earn a contract, another contract here or another team, or I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Sims because this is his final year, and we did draft Ariel. But I do feel like I've read a few times that the Knicks actually do like Sims, even though people like to trade him. I read a few times that the Knicks actually think highly of Sims. So I don't know if we're on the same page as the Knicks front office, the Knicks fans anyway. But we'll see. As long as he keeps improving, I don't care. We can have as many sentences here as we want, as long as we can manage the cap. I don't care. We can keep them all, unless we need to, you need to make a move for somebody else who can make an impact. And if the trade makes sense, the trade makes sense. But I like the way he's playing. I just do. All right. Nick Yak says, I wouldn't switch Sims with Huckaporty the way he is defending, and I love Huckaporty. Yeah, his defense has really stepped up for us, man. I'm not gonna hold you. He's really stepped up. He's finding his groove. And the thing is, I think it's just a matter of reps. He's been injured every season. This is the first off season he hasn't been injured. So minutes and timing are important. When he was really good for us that first year, he wasn't injured. He was actually playing more consistently. So I feel like if he gets consistent minutes, things will start to click for him more and more. That's just the way I see it. Gregory says, I don't hate Sims, but we know if we want to win, we need players on our bench to get comfortable playing. Yeah. Here's why. In the playoffs, the starters might not have it, and they will need more rest. Yeah, you know what, too? I'm not sure if Sims will even be in the rotation come playoff time, because Mitch should be back. And we also have Precious Achiuwa waiting in the wing. Now, the Precious Achiuwa thing is still interesting to me because the Knicks gave him a 1-year deal and they forced him to waive his no trade clause. So in my brain, they signed him to trade him. So I still have one eye on Precious on the trade deadline for sure. But just keep an eye on that. Just keep an eye on that. Now we signed a cat, so maybe that changes things because we needed a center, so we definitely made sure we bought Precious here. But now that we signed Cat, maybe that changes. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see what happens in the future. Corey Lee says, preach jealous about Sims. Yeah, man. I'm kind of liking Sims. I'm not going to hold you. Nick Yak says, last year we had 2 ISO heavy players keeping the assist down. Yes, Nick Yak, but also we kind of sucked offensively. Like we didn't have the weapons we had this year. And I'm with Julius Randle down, Precious Achiuwa. I loved him last year. He couldn't hit a jump shot to save his life. Bojan, he got injured. So during the playoffs, I don't know. We didn't have a lot of shot creators. There were no shot creators to kind of share the wealth. Now Cat is a shot creator, McCall is a shot creator, and Brunson is a shot creator. So multiple shot creators should just afford us the luxury of just having more assists. I don't think we trade Precious the way he was playing in preseason. We might not. We definitely might not because Mitch is still injury prone, so we still might keep him for insurance purposes. But I just feel like, forcing him to sign a contract that automatically comes with no trade clause and putting a no trade clause in it makes me raise an eyebrow. So I'm just keeping an eye on it just because of that. Just because of that wrinkle. All right. Shout out to the chat, man. I think you guys will rock with me. I appreciate the love and support. If you like the show, hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to be here after every game talking Knicks basketball for sure. Shout out to my guy Lee who couldn't make it today. Shout out to my guy Ron G. He should be back soon. Shout out to Ebony as well. Hopefully we'll have more people back for the next show and make it a group family affair, man. All right. Yeah, tomorrow is a back-to-back. So hopefully, listen, we play the Bulls. The Bulls are 4-7. Even though it's a back-to-back, I want this game, man. I need this game. It's against the Bulls. The Bulls are 4-7. They suck. The Knicks should win this game easily. We have Cat now, who they won't be able to guard. Jaylen Brunson likes playing against the Bulls in general. They don't even have Alex Caruso to guard him anymore. We should take this game. Even in on the back-to-back, we should take this game. All right. Picture Timmy says, turn them phones on. You know what? I don't have access to Discord here. I don't have access to Discord here. Here's the thing, guys. Phones cost money. So there was a time when the more support we get, if we start getting a lot of support again, like we had before, I'll bring the phones back because then I can actually, get the phones going. But the thing with the phone is a phone bill. The thing with the phone is there's a phone bill. But I definitely would love to bring the phones back. In the meantime, though, we can work on bringing the Discord back, if anything. All right. I bet. But I won't, because I'm not home in my home base, I can't do the Discord. I have to wait till I get back to Jersey at my home to get the Discord going so you guys can come in the Discord and talk. Shout out to my sister. My sister, my for those of you who don't know, my birthday was yesterday. And my sister's birthday is the 16th. Shout out to my sister. So, she's going away. She's turning the big 4-0. I'm watching my nephews this week, which is why I'm not home. So I'm going to be here for the week until I get back to Jersey. where I have my whole setup with the gunshots. So shout out to Fritz, who's able to hold it down and run the program while I'm not home. But when I get back home, I'll talk about bringing back the Discord and setting that up so you guys can talk to us. All right. Yo, appreciate that, Pix. Appreciate that, Timmy. Jay Ellis says, John Mark says, Jay Ellis, can you get ticket for a game? Can I get tickets for a game? Do I have a hookup for tickets for a game? No, I personally don't. Appreciate you, Corey Lee. Appreciate you. Appreciate the birthday wishes. All right. All right, yo. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. We'll definitely be back tomorrow talking Knicks versus 76ers. So I would definitely like for you guys to tune in. So yeah, that's the show. I'm out of here. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.